Now, the hearing of the case challenging the reinstatement of Emir Mohammed Sanusi II before Justice Abdullahi Mohammed Liman has been stalled. The Kano State Federal High Court, where the case was scheduled for Monday, June 3rd, was closed for business, both physically and virtually, due to the now suspended nationwide organized labor strike. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf called on the Nigerian Bar Association to find a lasting solution to the issue of conflicting judgments issued by judges.
Well, recall that there had been two conflicting court orders in the Kano emirship dispute. Justice S.A. Amobeda of the Federal High Court ordered the eviction of Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II from the Kofa Kudu Palace and directed the police to ensure all rights and privileges due to the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, were accorded to him. In contrast, Justice Aisha Damo-Aliyu of the State High Court restrained the police and other security agencies from evicting Sanusi from the palace, restrained Bayero from presenting himself as the Emir of Kano, and also ordered his eviction from Nasarawa Palace. Now, Governor Yusuf made his appeal at an NBA conference in Kano City, where Muhammadu Sanusi II was also invited, a move that has been interpreted by many as a sign that the NBA recognizes Sanusi II as the lawful monarch of the Emirate. Well, let's also tell you that this continues to play out, yet we will be looking into this situation. Well, the dethroned Emir Bayero continues to reside at the Nasarawa Mini Palace with a heavy security presence still active. Joining us at this moment as we discuss looking at the legality and more is legal practitioner Towo Oserevoja. I hope I got that name and that pronunciation correct.
Good morning. Thank you. Well, it's Oserevoja.
Oserevoja. Okay.
But it's a good attempt. It's a good attempt.
I'm sure Osarago will be looking at me like, really?
I'm not sure what I've got to do right either.
You know, sometimes when names are called, particularly when it has to do with our traditional name,
Absolutely.
you know that we tend to, because it has to do with some, how will I put it now, traditional and language of the thing. So some mistakes are allowed.
Okay, that's fine.
But with time, perfection will become the order of the day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's focus on our conversation now, which takes us straight to what's been going on there, the tussle, especially of the emirship. Now, what do you make of the body language of the Nigerian Bar Association in this recent update?
Well, I'm not in a position to speak for the Nigerian Bar Association, particularly when it has to do with the Kano branch, because I'm not authorized to do so. But I'll speak based on the legal aspect of it. If you look at it carefully, if we go through the memory lane, which we try to forget, similar issues, I'm not talking about the NBA inviting the current Emir of Kano, Similar issues happened far back in 1963, when it has to do with the dethronement of Muhammadu Sanusi, the Emir of Kano then. And if you look at it carefully, you discover that issue, and I keep saying it, and I think it has precedence that issue of chieftaincy affair that has to do with the Emirate Council or that has to do with any chieftaincy affair is within the confines and jurisdiction of the state government. And I will still tell you categorically, as it is today, the Emir of Kano or the other emirate that has been scrapped are product of law made by the State House of Assembly. Irrespective of the process that was taken, irrespective of how the law was made, inasmuch it has fulfilled the legal framework for it to be transformed from bill to become law, it remains law until it is repealed or it is interpreted to be in contrast or in contravention with a provision of the Constitution or natural justice. So as it is now, if you look at the Kano State Emirate Council Law of 2024 that repeals the other laws that came into being in 2019. Remember, before 2019, there was only one Emirate Council in Kano State. Do you understand? And before the 9th March 2020, Emir Sanusi was the Emir of Kano before he was dethroned by the former governor of Kano State. And all these are as a result of laws. I don't know if you get it. These are as a result of laws made by the State House of Assembly. So I'm not in a position to speak for the Kano MBA, but if you look at it carefully, legally, as it is, we should look at the law, and I'm speaking from the law.
All right, so I mean, the involvement of the second court order, you know, that seems to want the reinstatement of Emma Bayero, you know, are you saying that that court order may not have any legal standing?
Well, first of all, you should look at there are three conflicting court orders. Do you understand? The three conflicting court orders, you will now ask yourself the question, why are these orders coming into play? There was an order of on the 24th of May, if my memory will serve me right. Do you understand? We stopped the Kano state government for implementing the law that has been passed. Do you understand? Then you see another conflicting order from on the 27th of May that also affirmed the dethronement of and the and scrapping of the four Emirate, merging it to the Kano Emirate, and also asking the eviction of the dethroned emir, the alleged dethroned emir. Then if you look at the other one again, do you understand? So at this particular point in time, anarchy is the order of the day. Which of the order to respect? But we should not forget that when it comes to chieftaincy title affair, the State High Court has jurisdiction over the matter. But when there are two equal equity, first in time prevail, which I'm of the opinion, I think I'm of the opinion that the Federal High Court order would have been respected. Further than whether it is set aside or it is appealed. Do you understand? But this one that they are conflicting order now, you will see that the Federal High Court earlier granted in 24 May 2024 will be seen as the first in time, which should have been implemented or respected. But you can see that the three of them, anybody can decide to go for whoever the order they want to respect, and they have legal backing for it, because this is an order of court. This is an order of court. It's left for you to see which one suits your gain at that particular point in time.
Yeah, you know, all of this really just, you know, seems to paint, you know, the picture of where the Nigerian judiciary is, you know, at this point. And, you know, if we're having three different court orders, you know, on one particular case, you know, it's such a mess, don't you think?
Well, I don't think so, because if you could see, if you listen to activities surrounding the crisis, you discover that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, in his fatherly wisdom and being the chief head of the judiciary in Nigeria, has summoned the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court and the Kano State, the Chief Judge of Kano State. And I believe that I'm not in a position to speak for them, and I believe that the NJC and the judiciary are working towards the event, the ugly event that that unfold as a result of the use of the mechanical use of the judiciary when it comes to political play and issues. Do you understand? But however, this has actually exposed the lapses of the judiciary, and I believe that events like this will strengthen how the judiciary work. Let's give them the benefit of doubt that, well, you know, they are part of the society. One thing you need to understand, that the judiciary are part of the society, but they are blind to the society, because it's what you bring to them. That is what they act on. That is the kind of judicial system we practice in Nigeria. So let's assume, and we'll give them the benefit of that the judiciary, the NJC, will look at what really transpired and see the possible way, if there is sanction, if there's anything they need to do to forestall such an ugly event from happening in future.
All right, we do also recognize that due to the nationwide strike, a lot of things were sustained or actually were stopped. And now that the strike is over, do you see this going on for long? Because the people of Kano State at this point seem to be confused. Too many court injunctions, too many interim injunctions here and there, and everyone in Kano is wondering, which one do we follow? You have just said that anyone could be followed in the layman's term. But how long will this take? And most importantly, what are the risk factor that this could actually have, especially on the people of Kano State, and most importantly, on the Emirate as well?
Okay, if we look at it, first of all, let me take the first leg of the question, that how long will it take? You described that one of the Federal High Court granted by my Lord Honorable Justice Lima. The case was adjourned to 4th of June, which as a result of the industrial action, it didn't take place. Issues like this happen in judicial process. And if you also go further, a new date will be issued to parties. A new date will be issued to parties. And as a matter of fact, these are issues of urgency. And looking at the security implication of this issue, I believe that since things have become normal now, because the strike has been called off, there will be parties will be issued the relevant dates to enable them appear before the court to canvass their arguments.
But hold on.
You understand? Then two, on the implication, like I told you, when the temple of justice become confused, anarchy will be let loose. I'm not trying to say that the judiciary is confused, but like I told you, if these 2 orders or the 3 orders are to be respected, anarchy will definitely set in. But I really commend the wisdom in Kano State, what people have, the citizens, the way they react to the situation, and how the law enforcement agencies are acting, and even the state government, because we need to also commend the state government for the way and manner they are responding to the situation. Because if they are to respond in other ways, or if we look at Nigeria far back in 10 years' time, you would have seen that something drastic would have happened, because there would have been an allegation that, okay, well, somebody somewhere is trying to play this thing. But one thing I want people to understand is that this is not new in Kano State. Yeah. It is not new in Kano State. It has been a reoccurrence of history down the memory lane. Yeah. Political interference in the throne, do you understand? Even as far down to Sir Ahmadu Bello, do you understand? Then come down to the immediate past, Ganduje. Do you understand? There have been interference, but Kano is one of the most prominent traditionals too that we can respect, that we can hold on to. If you look at other clans, you discover that this thing happen on a daily basis, and it cannot be taken away, because these are the powers of the state. But it all depends on who is at the helm of affair of that particular state.
I mean, anyway, it's still not just making a lot of sense, because, if the state is meant to be the one responsible for traditional matters, then I'm not sure why there's a, Federal High Court in Abuja that is getting itself involved with state matters. But, we're out of time. We hope that, as things unravel, we'll understand better. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And we wish you, of course, a brilliant rest of today.